Hey everybody, Rob Vino here from Wager Talk with a bowl game best bet featuring Clemson and Kentucky, a game that has seen a pretty sizable amount of action toward the under, and that's the way we're going to play this one. It's dropped from 48 and a half now down to 46. Gonna play it that way for fundamental reasons mostly. We're still a few days away from this game being played, but want to start with Clemson and their turnaround to end this regular season, where head coach Dabo Swinney basically scrapped the passing game and dedicated the final back end of the season to the running game. Since they lost to North Carolina State, the four games since that loss, the play calling percentages changed drastically. It went to 60% run, 40% pass. The yardage accumulated between run and pass changed dramatically as well. All of a sudden, Clemson became a running team at 225 and a half yards per game, only 158 passing. So they were about 70 yards heavier toward the run last four games of the season. They really had to hide their passing game and their quarterback, Cade Klubnik, by relying heavily on what really are their best offensive assets, their running back tandem of Will Shipley and Phil Maffa. Prior to the switch, just to give you some context here, prior to the last four games where they went 60% run, they were only 49% run. Prior to the final four games, where they became a 40% pass team, they were actually a 51% pass team. So you see the adjustment, 11% in play calling switch on both ends. The ground game was only getting them 158 yards per game. Now it's getting them 225. They were trying to make way through the air, just didn't work. The switch in all has now led to a plus 67 and a half rushing yardage total over the last four games and minus 100, just about 101 passing yards per game. So it's been successful for Clemson to run the ball. We'll see if they can run the ball here. Obviously, clock consumption with a team that can garner first downs in the running game is important when you're playing under. Key here, run defenses for both sides are really, really good. Kentucky wants to run the ball too. Remember, Ray Davis, their star running back, they're predicated on the runs. You have two offenses that both want to run the football first, pass it second. Kentucky's number 25 in run defense this year. Could be a little bit difficult for Clemson to run on them. Clemson's number 30 in the nation in run defense. Could be difficult for Kentucky to run on them. I would have to believe that Clemson wants to stack the box against Ray Davis and force QB Devin Leary to beat them. And the same goes the other way, right? You want to stack the box and force Cade Klubnik to beat you. So you really have mirror images here with these game plans and the way they're devised. I think the one difference, and hopefully it doesn't become an explosive difference, I don't happen to think it will, is the fact that Clemson has to start a pair of freshman cornerbacks in this game. Question would be, can Kentucky's pass game take advantage of a pair of freshman corners? So far this season, they really didn't show any potential to take advantage of anybody's pass defense. Kentucky ranked number 94 in the nation in passing, only gain about 195 yards per game through the air. I know there's been extra time for Liam Cohen to maybe devise a game plan for Kentucky to maybe throw first and run second. Just don't know that they're good enough at the receiver positions in the passing game itself to be able to take advantage here. Clemson has a lot of experience playing Devin Leary, former NC State quarterback, so they'll know his tendencies. That could help them as well. I think in the end here, what you have is a couple of teams that are going to want to run that might not be able to run the way they want to. Dabo Swinney's always up for a trick play or two. Got to be careful of that. And as I mentioned, Kentucky may try to find a way to expose Clemson's corners. All that being said, 46 to me seems too high in a game that really projects out to be somewhere in the 23-17 nature for a final score. Both head coaches would like it that way. I think it'll end up that way. So we're going to use a best bet today on Clemson versus Kentucky under 46.